not let your children watch this movie. I don't care if it's subtle or not, they have an agenda. It's the same agenda they've been pushing since the 70s and 80s. Why do you think that 20% of the Gen Zers see themselves as LGBTQ? Because that agenda has been in movies and TV shows and books for the last 30 years, and so it has taken hold. It has had the effect. And the effect is to bring more and more people into that alternative lifestyle, to make things abnormal seem normal, and to destroy America and destroy the human race. Because if you're gay, you can't procreate. First, I want to thank everybody that has subscribed, liked, commented. I appreciate everything that you've said. No matter what you've said, I appreciate the likes. Please share this with your friends. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you hit that share button. We're trying to make sure that everybody know that they're not victims, that they're empowered for greatness, that we can make a difference again in this nation. That we can stand up for biblical values, we can stand up for truth and push back against all the lies and everything that's false that's taking place in this land. So I appreciate that. And please, thank you for looking at my videos and participating and making our voice known. This weekend, spending time with the family, we turned on Disney Plus and we saw this new Cheaper by the Dozen remake or reimagining, as the buzzword of the day is. And so I said, yeah, let's check that out. And much to my chagrin, I see that this Cheaper by the Dozen is full of virtue signaling, it's full of woke, liberal, progressive garbage. And it's all aimed at our children. All the things they have in this movie is aimed to condition our children to believe the narratives of the liberal progressives in America. So I'm gonna give you just some of the things I saw just in the first probably 40 something minutes of this movie. I couldn't stomach the rest of it. It was so blatant. Some were blatant, some were subtle. But in the end, it's all for the same goal: to pervert and subvert our children. See, they want to separate children from their parents. They want to have that severance of children to parents, to where children are on their own and parents are on their own. And eventually, Bible talks about this, where children will be fighting against their parents because they want to indoctrinate our children into this LGBTQ plus Black Lives Matter lifestyle. They want to make our children little radicals. They want to make us victims. But as you see on the back, I hope everybody likes that on the wall, we are not victims. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. So here's some of the things that I saw at the beginning. So when the movie starts and it pans to the house, you'll see in the window a yellow Black Lives Matter sign. And I knew right off the bat, oh yeah, this is a virtue signaling, this is a progressive liberal movie, and there are going to be progressive liberal themes throughout this movie. And I should have known better. When I saw Gabrielle Union was in this movie, I should have known that they're going to be pushing this narrative, because she's all about that. She's all about that lifestyle. As a matter of fact, she probably convinced Dwayne Wade to have his son turn into a woman. But that's neither here nor there. And the white man, who is her husband in the movie, is a beta male. He is so beta. He is so weak. He is so intimidated. He's intimidated by Gabrielle Union's ex-husband, the one that plays the ex-husband in the movie. He's intimidated by him. They start comparing shoe sizes and all this crazy nonsense. But you can tell that the man is a beta male. He's the one that seems to wear an apron in the house. And this is not, keep in mind, this is all like in the first minute of this movie. All these things are being pushed first minute of this movie. They have two dogs, one named Barack Obama and the other named Joe Bitin. The dogs are named Bark Obama, Joe Bitin. Now, when it talks about how the Gabrielle Union character and her white husband, how they came to have this blended family, if you will, how they met, they go to the backstory. And for his backstory, it talks about how he met his wife when they were in college. They were doing some kind of drama play, and they got married, and they had children. But she became disillusioned with her marriage. And so she left her marriage, she left her children because she was no longer excited. And so she wanted to live her own life. And that plays into this feminist narrative that's been prevalent in all these articles that have been published over the last few years, how women have become disillusioned with their marriage and have actively sought and acquired divorces because they felt like their life wasn't being fulfilled in their marriages. And so they disrupted and destroyed their homes out of selfishness. It's narcissistic and it's selfish. But that is the prevailing narrative. That is prevailing. See, the prevailing narrative that they want to destroy is family. God instituted the family. The family is the backbone of every nation. The family is the backbone of every civil society. But they want to destroy it. They want to remake it. They want to reimagine it in their image. They want to attack the institution that God had created. And so the white wife left her white husband because she was not fulfilled in her marriage. And then but it's so crazy because the white wife just now has a key to the house, and she comes in and watches the children. And so during one of the episodes, now keep in mind, this is in the first 15 minutes of the movie. The children are running around crazy. I mean, the white wife, she's sitting on there doing her yoga, wherever it is, and they're having a drag race. The white wife makes mention about Rupaul's Drag Race. So there you go, LGBTQ, feminism, Black Lives Matter, that triumvirate is all there in this particular movie. And then it talks about how Gabrielle Union's character became single and how she ended up with the white man. And it talks about her ex-husband. And so they started off well, but he was a football player, stereotype. And he started to become selfish, all about himself, and materialistic. So naturally that led to their destruction of the marriage. That led to their dissolution of marriage because the black man was selfish and all about himself. I'm surprised that they didn't have the black man with the white woman. That may happen at the end of the movie. I wouldn't be surprised by that. But I'm surprised I didn't see that thing. I was looking for that. I was actually looking for the reason why they broke up was because the black man went with a white woman. But I guess they couldn't push that narrative in this movie. They had too many going on at the time. So, and then it all centers on the fact that the black woman, Gabrielle Union's character, is the one holding everything together. She's the glue. She's the solid one. She's the one that has everybody's best interest in mind. She's the one that has to bring everything together. And so when they talk about how Gabrielle Union's character and the husband got together, so they talked about, and one of the lines that she used that really, when I heard it, it really, really aggravated me. She said, "My pregnancy was planned. The outcome, however, was not." Meaning that I guess she had like 4 children or 2 sets of twins. But she said, "My pregnancy was planned." You hear that? Because the number one reason why people have abortions is quote unquote unplanned pregnancy. So that's a shout out to reproductive justice, what they call it, reproductive rights. My pregnancy was planned. Let that sink in. Why would somebody put a line like that? Who talks like that? My pregnancy was planned. I don't know anybody that talks like that. Oh, I planned my pregnancy. My pregnancy was planned. Only liberals and feminists talk like that. And then, so later on, about 30 minutes into the movie, there was like this dance off where the black football player was dancing on the court, and then the white beta male husband was dancing as well, and the black man was dancing so good that the announcer at the game, the halftime announcer, was talking about how the black man was dancing so much it was making him feel some stuff. So there's your gay character. I was waiting for when the gay character is going to show up, and there you go. There's your gay character. So you've hit everything in the first 30 minutes. They have hit everything they wanted to hit in projecting this narrative on our children. LGBTQ, got it. Black Lives Matter, got it. Feminism, got it. Check, check, check. And then one of the craziest things is, so they have a daughter who was disabled in a wheelchair. And so in the back, on the back of her wheelchair, it says, "Only God can judge me." So not only are they hitting their points when it comes to LGBTQ, feminism, and Black Lives Matter, the racial hoax, but they also are talking about, don't judge me. Only God can judge me. So you can't criticize me. If you're criticizing me, then you are out of line. If you're criticizing me, then you're homophobic. If you're criticizing me, then you're racist. If you're criticizing me, there's something wrong with you. And listen, I do not have fear of homosexuals or people who are transgender. I'm not transphobic, I'm not homophobic. I have a disdain for deception and for evil and for lies. I have a disdain for the work of the enemy. And what's taking place in those lies is the work of the enemy. And so I'm here because my elder brother Jesus destroyed those. And so I carry out his mission to destroy the works of the enemy. And that's what I'm here for. So I don't have a fear of anything. Matter of fact, I pray for them, I love them, and I pray for their eyes to be open, because plenty of people who've fallen into that deception of transgenderism, their eyes have been opened, and I pray that it's not too late. So, and then from a little bit I saw, there was a disagreement. They were planning on moving to Calabasas, which is quote unquote the white area, I guess, the rich area. And the children were very disobedient to the dad, just talking back to him and yelling at him. And wow, that's so typical of what goes on today in today's climate and homes. How the men are the beta men and the women are the alpha. That's totally perverted to the way God designed it. God designed it with the man being the head and not the woman. The man's role is to be the head, not the woman. The man's role is to protect, to provide, to watch over, and to lead and guide, not the woman. But see, in the devil's hierarchy, no, the woman is over the man. And see, that's what's going on in America today. Too many, and sad part about it is too many men are letting the women lead them. And it's never meant to be that way. Women are not supposed to lead, men are. Men are supposed to be the leaders. And the last thing I saw was when they moved into this new house in Calabasas, a nice house, there was a white security guard, patrol, I guess neighborhood patrol, watchman or whatever, rolling up on his Segway. And he was talking to Gabrielle Union's character. So obviously, there you go. You have the racial profiling. Because I guess he was telling them some of the rules about how you can't play loud music after 10 p.m. So he was profiling them, racially profiling them, questioning why they moving into the neighborhood. And so she asked him questions, talking about, do you ask these questions to every new person that moves into the neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. So the same old deal. Just ginning up racial hatred. The same old stuff about police brutality, how black people are being hunted out here. That same old lie. So all of this. So I'm saying is that do not let your children watch this movie. Do not let your children watch this movie. I don't care if it's subtle or not, they have an agenda. It's the same agenda they've been pushing since the 70s and 80s. Why do you think that 20% of the Gen Zers see themselves as LGBTQ? Because that agenda has been in movies and TV shows and books for the last 30 years, and so it has taken hold. It has had the effect. And the effect is to bring more and more people into that alternative lifestyle, to make things abnormal seem normal, and to destroy America and destroy the human race. Because if you're gay, you can't procreate. You cannot procreate. You can't. You cannot. You cannot. And that's all the intention of the devil. The devil wants to kill babies by abortion. He wants to prevent them from ever being conceived. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. So no, I strongly encourage you, do not let your children watch this movie. This movie is not meant for those who believe in freedom. It's not meant for those who have a biblical worldview. It is so contrary to that. So contrary to that. And will have your children believing things that you do not want them to believe. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. Thank you so much for liking your comments and subscribing to the channel. Please share this with your friends. Smash that like button. Smash the subscription bell. Share this with everybody you know. We're trying to make sure people understand that they're not victims, that they are empowered for greatness, and all this stuff that's out here that's telling them otherwise is false. and will not benefit them in the end. So please, I appreciate that. Share that.